Freedom Park, a place where we honor those who endured pain so we can experience the joy of freedom. Nelson Mandela. Freedom Park was born as a national and international icon of humanity and freedom. It represents the South African tale in the voice of the South African people. It exemplifies and celebrates the unity found in this country's diverse nature. The eternal flame calls on visitors to remember the unknown and unsung heroes and heroines who lost their lives without their names being recorded in history. Skumbutu is the main memorial and it stands as a testimony to the conflicts that have shaped the South Africa of today. As a tribute to South Africa and human dignity, it is a place for the renewal of the human spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's
create a path. The police are going to come this way. Go around.
Isivivani is a sacred space, the spiritual resting place for those who played a part in the freedom and liberation of South Africa. Soil from areas where the conflicts occurred was brought to the sacred spaces as part of the process of laying the spirits to rest.
Take over that line. Can we move that side behind? Just to create a space, as long as we are behind the line. Yeah. Let's move around. Let us make sure that we don't move beyond the tape. Let's leave this pathway open. Ladies and gentlemen, this pathway open. Thank you very much. I now give over to the CEO of Freedom Park, Dr. Jane Mofamadi, to start the proceedings. CEO.
Your Excellencies, our Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, Your Excellency, the Minister of Culture for Angola, Minister Zhao, our Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture here in South Africa, Deputy Minister Mabe, the MEC of Free State, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our distinguished guests. It is indeed an honor to have you today on this day of reflection. The part that we are here, it's the laying of the wreath to remember those who laid down their lives for the freedom that we enjoy today, and in particular, those who fell in the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale. I will now hand over to the Tshwane Metropolis to do the honors before we commence with the wreath laying.
members, attention. All uniform members, salute. Attention. Please.
Thank you so much. We will now commence with the laying of the wreath. I will request our chairperson, Ms. Shanely Kruger of Freedom Park, and the chairperson of the National Heritage Site, Mr. Dauma Samula, to assist with the wreath laying. We will commence with the South African wreath that will be laid by our minister. We will now we'll ask the minister to proceed. We will now call upon the Minister João of Angola to do the same. We will now call upon the Ambassador of Cuba to lay the wreath on behalf of the Cuban people. We will now call upon the Deputy High Commissioner of Namibia to lay the wreath on behalf of the Namibians. We will now call upon the Ambassador of Russia to lay the wreath. We will now release the Tshwane Metro. Thank you so much. Before we get into the sanctuary, we would like to request that we observe a brief moment of silence collectively as we remember those who laid down their lives for the freedom that we enjoy today. Thank you so much. The ministers will now lead us into the sanctuary to start with the formal program. May we please settle so that we can start? As we begin our program, I'm just waiting for everyone to settle down.
We are not translating as we had agreed, but he's there behind the minister just in case. He also asked for that.
Okay. Your Excellencies, ministers, distinguished guests, may we be upstanding for the AU anthem and the South African national anthem.
Usisikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisa ubonolwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi sikelela thina, lusapho lwayo, lwena boluka sitshaba sa Yesu. Usibuke, usibuluke, sitshaba Yesu, sitshaba South Africa, South Africa. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live as life for freedom in South Africa. Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our
Thank you. We may be seated. Your Excellency, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Your Excellency, Minister Felipe Silvino de Pinajau, Minister of Culture of Angola, your Deputy Minister for Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa, Ms. Peace Mave, MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, Free State, MEC Sefova, the Chairperson of Freedom Park, Ms. Shaneli Adams-Kruger, the Chairperson of the National Heritage Council, Mr. Tauma Semula, the Ambassador of Cuba in the Republic of South Africa, Ambassador Esther Armenteros, the Russian Ambassador in South Africa, Ambassador Roman Ambrov, the Deputy High Commissioner of Namibia, High Commissioner Humphrey, the ambassadors who are here. We have few ambassadors, especially from SADC Minister. We do have also amongst us members of the Freedom Park Council, members of the National Heritage Council, chairpersons, CEOs and directors of the DSEC entities who are here in numbers, our acting DG, Dr. Cynthia Kumalo. We also have heads of department from provincial departments. We do have also the veterans of our movements and retired generals. I've seen also Lieutenant General Msimang, retired. I've seen General Mufukeng also amongst us. Professor Edna van Harte, a former council member of Freedom Park, but a commissioner in the Khoisan Council. I have seen various religious leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, various stakeholders, friends of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. I've seen a special friend of Freedom Park also, Pastor Dolores. If you walk through Freedom Park, there are Bible scriptures, including here. And she's the one who was responsible for that. I would also like to acknowledge the special guest, Mr. Dali Tambo and his wife, who's amongst us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor to have you here at Freedom Park. And I want to acknowledge all guest partners and everyone here. You are special, even though we may not have mentioned your name. We are gathered here today on the 23rd of March, which we call here at the DSEC family the Day of Reflection. But you will also know that the day is popularly known as the SADC Day of Liberation. And our Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture has signed an agreement and a plan of action with their counterparts in Angola to mobilize the rest of SADC in particular, but the rest of humanity, to remember the 23rd of March, the day that ushered in our freedom. And that is why we talk about the fact that the freedom we enjoy today was not free. You all have to walk through the wall to see that. As we do that, we hope these programs will educate the younger generation to understand who they are and where they come from. Without much ado, I would like to call our chairperson of Freedom Park, Ms. Shaneli Adams-Kruger, to give us the opening remarks as well as the welcome note.
Program Director, Dr. Thabo Manetsi and Dr. Jane Mufamadi, His Excellency, Minister Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, His Excellency Mr. Philippe Zau, Minister of Culture and Tourism of Angola, Ms. Peace Mabe, our Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, MECs from different provinces here present today, Mr. Tau Masimola, the Chairperson of the National Heritage Council, chairpersons from other entities, ambassadors, High Commissioners and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Dr. Cynthia Kumalo, Acting Director General of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, CEOs of different DSEC entities, veterans of the liberation struggle, interfaith leaders, distinguished guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, bom dia. It is with great honor and deep reverence that I welcome you all to Freedom Park today on this momentous occasion, the day of reflection and on resistance and liberation heritage route. Today, we stand together in the spirit of remembrance, unity, and gratitude, reflecting on the profound sacrifices made in the struggle for freedom and justice. Freedom Park is not merely a place. It's a sacred space that echoes the voices of our past, the bravery of our struggle, and the triumph of our liberation. It is here that we honor the memory of those who paid the ultimate price for our democracy, and ensuring that their legacy remains an internal flame guiding our present and future generations. This morning, as we laid the wreaths at the Wall of Names, we reaffirmed our commitment to remembering our heroes and heroines. The names inscribed there tell the stories of resilience, courage, and unwavering determinations, stories that must never be forgotten. We also extend our recognition to the international solidarity shown to South Africa during our struggle, particular countries such as Angola, Cuba, Namibia, and Russia. Their sacrifices and support were instrumental in our journey to freedom. Today's event is not just about commemoration, but about reflection and renewal. As we listen to the messages of support and the keynote address, let us be reminded of our collective responsibility to preserve and promote the heritage of our liberation. We continue to educate future generations, ensuring that history remains a beacon of wisdom and inspiration. Let us engage meaningful today, drawing from the lessons of our past to strengthen our present and shape a future of unity, dignity, and shared prosperity. I extend my sincere appreciation to all present, especially our distinguished speakers and guests, for the invaluable contributions to this occasion. May this day serve as a reminder of our shared history and an inspiration to uphold values of freedom, justice, and human dignity. Thank you. Obrigado.
Thank you, Chairperson. Indeed, we remember the past to reflect on the present in order to build a shared future collectively. To accompany such warm, beautiful words, I'm going to call upon the Freedom Park storytellers to say for the Chairperson's words.
Mahatebe, Umtimkulu Bungal. And I am able to I'm a storyteller. I grew up with storytelling from my great-grandmother. So I normally tell stories that my great-grandmother taught us growing up. But today's story is not a legend nor folk tale from my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother would tell these stories around the fire, where the children, according to Isintu, this is where we learn about our history. This is where we get taught about who we are, where we come from, and what the world is about. Thank you. Today, the story is a bit different. It's a story written through blood, bravery, and solidarity that sees us 31 years later, since the days of apartheid, able to sit together like this without anybody worrying, because 31 years ago, we would have been looking at one of the biggest illegal gatherings with all of you sitting here. And today we are here to remember, because Freedom Park is a place where we honor with all the dignity that they deserve those who endured pain, so we can come together without looking at each other's color of skin. South Africa, SADC, saw a time in the years between 1987 and 1988 that saw many people coming together to support. So manditi kuni namhlanje, as I welcome you myself as a storyteller to Freedom Park, Chaboske, Chabodema, Waraka Ngawasip, is Damaska Iyo. These are the words of Abatwa, the Nama people. According to them, a dream is not a dream until it is shared by the entire community. And what makes us special today is that we are a community that is gathering because those that were revolutionary, those who laid down their lives, came together to make sure that the giant that was apartheid, that South Africa could not face on their own, had friends from near and far. My great-grandmother always said, "Kulendusi nawao." Far only means a place where there's no one that is of your own. Mandito today, viva Angola, viva Namibia, viva Cuba, viva to Russia. Because without the AK-47, our revolutionaries would not have been able to roar with the thunder that came with the AK-47 that came from Russia. Without the people of Cuba, who saw that solidarity is the only solution when you are faced with a giant that fights against the people. The people of South Africa had a dream, and that dream was to be free. That dream was for us to be able to express ourselves in the way that we know that was intended for us. And when we were facing apartheid, 1987, 1988, showed us a pivotal moment when the coming together of different people was able to look a giant in its face and say, "No more. You cannot continue to have this power against the people." The unity that we see today comes from that time. We are grateful. We honor all those who stood with us. And today, as we celebrate that time that the Cubans came, maybe for them, it was the time when Angola was facing a civil war and the Cold War had to come up. But perhaps little did they know that their hands with AK-47s from Russia, with the support of other people, they stretched that hand as far from Cuito Cuanavale, and it reached the people of South Africa. That today, from those years, when the AK-47s and all the bazookas and everything shut down, the people of South Africa were able to stand, and apartheid was shown that it had no place in the future of this country, in the future of our continent. And today, we say, long live to the spirits of those that gave their lives and everything laid down. Because when Cuba came, they were not looking for gold. They were not looking for minerals. When the bullets shut down, when the smoke went down, all they took back to their land was bags and bags full of bodies of those who stood with us when they had nothing to gain, but only to see a people living without fear of apartheid. And with those AK-47s, we were able to sing together as South Africans, as Africans. City from Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar, Batileni Azania, Izeletu, Solitata Bazooka, from Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar, Batileni Azania, Izeletu,
Solitatange Bazooka. Now, as we are all gathered here from different walks of lives, and when children come here eager to learn the names on the walls of our heroes who have fought tirelessly for the liberation struggle, where stories are told and amagwicho are sung as we face head-on the contradictions of the present, where painful memories have been written in words, painted in pictures, and items of the past are collected in order for us to shape and share our history with less contradiction, but more harmony. Welcome to Freedom Park, friends from far and near, as we honor, commemorate, and stand in solidarity to strive for united and equitable society, not forgetting that a dream is not a dream until it is shared by the entire community. My name is Kopano. My surname is Mahlasi, and I say thank you.
Indeed, today we are allowed to sing. We are celebrating the victory. We are celebrating the triumph of the human spirit. Minister, those are our storytellers. We didn't hire them for today. They learn about this history and this heritage, and they share with the younger generations every day here at Freedom Park. I'm told that we are also live streaming, so I also want to welcome all the participants who have joined us through various platforms. You are all welcome, and we appreciate you being part of us today. I would now like to call upon Her Excellency, Ambassador Esther Armenteros, representing Cuba here in South Africa. The ambassador was here before many years ago, and the over 2,000 names where we have just laid the wreath, she was instrumental in the research, in the quality control, so that they can be inscribed here. Ambassador.
Good morning to all of you, comrades and friends. Allow me to recognize the presence here of our very two dear ministers of culture from South Africa and Angola. Also, I would like to say hello to all the members of the Freedom Park Council. We meet once again in this sacred place, Freedom Park, to commemorate the 37th anniversary of the victory of the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale and to pay a heartfelt tribute to the heroes who gave their life in the struggle for independence and freedom for South Africa and the African country in general. Cuito Cuanavale, a small town in the province of Cuando Cubango, Angola, witnessed the largest militarist battle in Africa since the Second World War II. Cuito Cuanavale became a symbol of resistance and courage after the victory achieved that forced the South African regime to back down and sit in the negotiation table for peace, to sign peace. The decisive defeat of the racist army in Cuito Cuanavale was a victory for all Africa. It was made possible for Angola to enjoy peace and establish its own sovereignty. The defeat of the racist army also made it possible to the people of Namibia to achieve their independence. Cuba and South Africa are two countries united by history, and that history includes Cuito Cuanavale. We have achieved 30 years of relations between South Africa and Cuba, and the blood of our heroes was not shed in vain. One of the most beautiful pages in the history of solidarity between peoples was written in that small town of Angola. I would like now share something with you about my previous stay here in this country. You know, when I came, this building was inaugurated for the first time. It was not that big as it was now. And then in the Cuban culture, or the Spaniard culture, more or less, our names are very long. We use two given names, and we use two surnames. And sometimes, for the Angolans, they have that experience too. They have very long names. So the colleagues at the center here at the Freedom Park came to me at the embassy and said, "Ambassador, we need you to help us to tell us the proper name of your colleagues, of your compatriots, because they won't fit in the line that was preserved for that." And then I say, okay, so I, with the assistance of another colleague of that time, we went through 2,000 names to make sure that the name that appeared there was clearly identifiable by the relative. Unfortunately, my only concern was that I wanted that if someday a mother or a wife of a child came to this place, he could see very easily and find the name of his dear person. And so we went through the whole names. Some of them will fit okay because they were not so long, but others we have to skip maybe one given name or to skip one surname in a way that was clear to all the Cubans to read. So now we were putting the Wreath right there. I was remembering that period. So unfortunately, my concern, most of those relatives, mothers, wives, children, were not able to come here and see their relative names there because of the distance, because they are no longer with us. So I feel that I am here representing them and putting this wreath in front of their relatives who gave their life for Southern Africa, for Namibia, for Angola, and from Cuito Cuanavale, in Cuito Cuanavale. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. We will now call upon the Deputy High Commissioner of Namibia in South Africa, Ms. Aino Humphrey, to convey a message of support on behalf of the people of Namibia.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, Minister of Sport, Art and Culture, Republic of South Africa, and your counterpart, Honorable Philip Silva Pinaza, Minister of Culture, Tourism of the Republic of Angola, Your Excellency, Ambassador of Russia, Cuba, and Angola, Cuba internationalist, Your Excellency, Member of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for the Namibian High Commission to be here again to share a few words on the day of reflection for the commemoration of the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale. 37 years ago, on the 23rd of March, 1988, victory was achieved against the apartheid South African Defense Force and their allies in a small town called Cuito Cuanavale in southern East Angola. It was a turning point in the liberation struggle against the racism and colonialism and the history of Southern Africa. The Battle of Cuito Cuanavale took place at the height of the Cold War, and it was not only a military battle, but also ideological warfare. It pitted the apartheid forces against the revolutionary armed forces of Cuba, known as the Cuban revolutionarists or internationalists. The Battle of Cuito Cuanavale was waged between 1985 and 1988. It involved Angola Army, the FAPLA, de Cuba, and the Soviet Union against UNITA, beefed up by the large contingency of South African apartheid regime defense force. And in the later part of the war, SWAPO and ANC were also involved. The Battle of Cuito Cuanavale is significant for Namibia, Southern Africa and Africa, and the world at large, as it led to the implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 435 and the first ever election held in November 1989, eventually leading Namibia's independence on 21st March 1990. It brought about the end of liberation struggles and brought the transformation of Organ of Africa unit to the African Union, as well as embracing democracy across Africa. Director of Ceremonies, on the Friday, 21st March 2025, Namibia witnessed with pride the historical inauguration. Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, as the first female and the fifth president of the Republic of Namibia. Cuito Cuanavale has direct correlation to this historic milestone. However, whereas Namibia, Southern Africa, and Africa at large still in celebratory mood, we are also sadly reminded that this is the first Cuito Cuanavale commemoration where our founding president, father of the Namibian nation, President or Comrade Safishuna Sam Nujoma, is not with us as he transmits to everlasting on the 8th of February 2025. May his revolutionary spirit continue to rest in peace. As we reflect on this day, let us cognizant that the true independence is fundamental to the success and credibility of any nation. In conclusion, Director of Ceremonies, the road to freedom were bitter. Hence, we remember and salute those who have laid down their precious lives for the freedom and independence we continue to treasure. These were the gallant sons and daughters of Angola, Cuba, Namibia, and Russia, and South Africa. Let their sacrifices therefore be not in vain, but let us also work toward the total economic emancipation of our people. With deep gratitude and appreciation, we thank all the frontliner states and the entire peace-loving people of the world for their sacrifices, persistent support to all freedom fighters of this great region of Southern Africa. We say to our fallen heroes and heroines of the liberation struggle for freedom and independence of Africa, their blood waters our freedom. I thank you.
Ministers, as we have learned the power of solidarity and working together from this battle where various countries came together so that we can attain the freedom. In preparing for this day today, we took a cue from that. You will recall that last year, you signed a tripartite agreement between Freedom Park, the National Heritage Council, and the Agostino Neto Foundation. In that spirit, today is also a collaborative effort. And my part ends here as I call my brother, Dr. Thabo Manetsi, the CEO of the National Heritage Council. I thank you.
Thank you very much to my sister. In fact, in the spirit of Ubuntu, Honorable Minister, you told us that let's join hands. You know, under the government of national unity, we will all work together towards achieving the same goal of serving our people. So thank you for that, Mayor Co-Program Director. Without further ado, let me extend warm greetings to yourself, Minister, and your esteemed guests. And with your permission, let me ride on the salutations and say all protocol observed. Thank you for that. And I don't want to interrupt the flow of this beautiful program because this is a momentous day. I can see we've all dressed up and come out here and sacrificed time to spend here, really. So with that said, we are truly honored really to have gathered here under the auspices of our leadership here. And as we flowing along the program, I would like to welcome to the podium our next message of support from His Excellency, Mr. Roman Ambrov, the Ambassador of Russia, to come forward and also share a message of support with us. Let's give him a warm Ubuntu welcome.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister Gayton McKenzie, Honorable Minister Felipe Silvino de Pina-Zao, distinguished colleagues, esteemed veterans, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor to stand before you today to commemorate the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale, which has become a defining moment in the history of Southern Africa, and its legacy still resonates today. As we're gathered here in South Africa, we remember the resilience of the brave souls from various countries and nations, including the Soviet Union, Cuba, South Africa, and Namibia, who fought for freedom and justice in Angola. And the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale was not just a battle for Luanda's sovereignty, but rather a pivotal step in the fight against apartheid regime in South Africa. In this context, the Soviet Union played a significant role, standing in solidarity with the MPLA government of Angola. Moscow provided its support, including military arms, equipment, as well as strategic advice to help defend Angola from external aggression. Soviet advisors worked closely with Angolan, Cuban, and Namibian forces and the armed wing of the African National Congress, who fought courageously alongside each other not only in the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale, but throughout the Angolan Civil War. Approximately 12,000 Soviet servicemen participated in this war on a rotational basis. The Soviet Union's involvement went beyond mere politics or military strategy. It was based on the belief that all nations have the right to self-determination and that apartheid in South Africa, as well as foreign interference in Angola, had to end. The struggle for independence in Angola was part of the broader global fight for justice and equality, and the Soviet Union stood firmly on the side of the oppressed, on the right side of history. The Battle of Cuito Cuanavale was definitely a turning point. It sent a clear message to the apartheid regime that its military could not suppress the aspirations and the will of free people. This victory in Angola contributed directly to the peace process in Namibia and helped pave the way for the liberation in South Africa. Today, as we commemorate this battle, we also honor the shared values that brought us together, the values of freedom, equality, and justice. The courage and resilience displayed by the Angolan, Cuban, and Soviet forces left their mark in the nation-building processes in our countries. The struggle for freedom was a collective one. And it is this spirit of international solidarity that we must continue to uphold in the world today. The veterans who fought in Cuito Cuanavale showed us the power of unity and determination. Their bravery, alongside the sacrifice of countless others, changed the future, not just for Angola, but for all of Southern Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the resounding words, reminding us of the solidarity and support that Russia pledged behind this very important battle. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to call His Excellency, the Minister of Culture and Tourism of the Republic of Angola, His Excellency Mr. Philippe Dipina João, to come forward also to address us and share his message of support. And in the resounding spirit of Ubuntu, Minister, let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning for everyone. I go to speak in Portuguese. I have a translator. Excelência Gayton Mackenzie, my brother, Ministro dos Desportos, Artes e Cultura da República da África do Sul.
His Excellency Gayton Dr. Mackenzie, Minister of Sport, Art and Culture of the Republic of South Africa.
Excelência Shami Lee Adams Kruger, Presidente do Conselho do Freedom Park.
Excellency Sham Adam Kruger, Chairperson of the Freedom Park.
Excelência Tao Masemola, Presidente do Conselho Nacional do Património da África do Sul.
Excellency Mr. Masemola, Chairperson of National Heritage Council of South Africa.
Excelência Rui Xavier, Embaixador da República de Angola na África do Sul.
Excellency Ambassador Rui Xavier, Ambassador of the Republic of Angola in South Africa.
Excelência e minha boa amiga Esther Armenteros, Embaixadora da República de Cuba.
Excellency, my sister, Ambassador Esther Manteros, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba in South Africa.
Excelência Roman Ambarov, Embaixador da Federação Russa.
Excellency Roman Ambarov, Ambassador of Russia Federation in South Africa.
Excelência Veiko Nguete, Alto Comissário da República da Namíbia.
Excellency Veikon, High Commissioner of the Republic of Namibia in South Africa.
Distintos presentes.
Distinguished guests.
Minhas senhoras e meus senhores.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Todo protocolo observado.
All protocol observed.
Começo por manifestar a minha enorme satisfação e honra por tomar parte deste magno evento, 37 anos após a Batalha do Cuito Cuanavale, e poder dirigir-me ao povo irmão sul-africano, irmão pela mesma origem civilizacional africana, irmão pelo mesmo desejo de autonomia política no tempo da submissão do homem africano na sua própria terra, irmão na luta de libertação da África Austral contra o anacrónico regime do apartheid.
I would like to begin to express my great satisfaction and honor to take part of this great event, 37 years of Battle of Cuito Cuanavale, and in the beginning, able to express our South African brothers by the same origin in the African civilization, brother by the same desire for political autonomy, and at the time where Africans were submissive in their own land, brothers in the struggle for the liberation of South Africa against the apartheid regime, brother in the same desire for progress and become master of our own destiny.
Yeah, irmão do mesmo desejo de progresso e de nos tornarmos donos do mesmo destino. Quero também, na ocasião, agradecer em meu nome pessoal e da delegação que me acompanha o caloroso acolhimento que nos foi proporcionado pelo Governo da República da África do Sul nesta hospitaleira cidade de Pretória, que tenho sempre o maior prazer em visitar.
I also like to take this opportunity to thank the government of the Republic of South Africa on my own behalf and behalf of my delegation accompanying me for the welcome and in this hospitable city of Pretoria, which I always enjoy visiting.
Esta irmandade entre os nossos países e povos foi-nos ensinada pelo pai da nação angolana e primeiro presidente da República de Angola, Dr. António Agostinho Neto, que nos seus educativos discursos preferidos logo após a nossa autonomização política, afirmava que na Namíbia, no Zimbábue e na África do Sul estava a continuação da nossa luta.
This spirit of brotherhood between our countries and people was taught to us by the father of the Angolan nation and the first president of the Republic, Dr. Antonio Agostinho Neto, whom in his educational speech delivered shortly after we gained our political autonomy, state that in Namibia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa lies our continuous struggle.
Uma luta levada a cabo por cerca de década e meia contra a administração colonial portuguesa. Uma luta continuada pela libertação da África Austral com os países da linha da frente, Botsuana, Moçambique, Tanzânia, Zâmbia e Zimbábue.
A struggle waged for about a decade and a half against the Portuguese colonial administration, and struggle continued for the liberation of South Africa along with other frontline states such as Botswana, Mozambique, Tanzania, Zâmbia and Zimbabwe.
O atual município do Cuito Cuanavale, a sudeste de Angola, foi entre 1987 e 1988 palco da maior batalha registada na África subsaariana.
The present municipality of Cuito Cuanavale, located in the southern region of Angola, was the scene of the largest battle ever recorded in the South Saharan African between 1987 and 1988.
Durante meses ocorreram intensos combates com emprego de infantaria, artilharia pesada e meios aéreos.
For months, intense fight took place involving infantry, heavy artillery, and air forces.
As forças governamentais de Angola juntaram-se às forças governamentais de Angola juntaram-se os nacionalistas da África do Sul e da Namíbia, combatentes internacionalistas cubanos, bem como ainda o apoio material e de inteligência da União das Repúblicas Socialistas Soviéticas.
The Angolan government army were joined by the freedom fighter from South Africa, Namibia, Cuba, international fighter, as well as weapons and intelligence support from the Soviet Union, despite the tragedy caused by the successive phase of the war we were always imbued with the sense of Africanness, love for freedom and solidarity with our African brothers.
Apesar das tragédias provocadas pelas sucessivas fases da guerra, estivemos sempre imbuídos pelo sentimento da africanidade, amor pela liberdade e solidariedade para com os nossos irmãos africanos. Homens e mulheres corajosos se levantaram em defesa dos seus ideais e enfrentaram um inimigo que, à época, era considerado quase invencível. A resistência e a determinação demonstradas no Triângulo do Tumpo não constitui apenas um combate para a defesa de uma parcela do nosso país, mas também uma luta pela dignidade, justiça social, respeito e direito à igualdade racial de toda a pessoa humana.
Brave men and women stood up in defense of their ideals and faced an enemy that, at the time, was almost considered invincible. The resistance and determination displayed in the struggle of Tumbu was not a fight to defend a portion of the country, but also a fight for dignity, social justice, respect, and the right to racial equality for every human being.
Na sequência da nossa vitória conjunta na Batalha do Cuito Cuanavale, discussões levadas a cabo pelo governo de Angola, de Cuba e do regime opressor do apartheid levaram à assinatura em dezembro de 1988, em Nova Iorque, a resolução 435 do Conselho de Segurança da Organização das Nações Unidas, que determinava a retirada do regime do apartheid da Namíbia, permitindo deste modo a independência deste país no dia 21 de março de 1990.
Following our joint victory in the Battle of Cuito Cuanavale, discussions held by the government of Angola, the government of Cuba, and the oppressive regime at that time led to signing the 435 resolution of the United Nations Security Council in December 1988 in New York City that determined the withdrawal of the apartheid regime from Namibia, thus allowing the independence of that country in 21 of 1919.
Com esta corrente de solidariedade, abriu-se espaço para a libertação de Madiba em 11 de fevereiro de 1990, aos 71 anos de idade e após 27 anos de rigoroso enclausuramento. O grande combatente Nelson Mandela, o maior símbolo de resistência contra o regime segregacionista, acabou por ser também o vencedor das primeiras eleições livres e justas realizadas em 1994 e deixou-nos uma herança de princípios valiosos, tais como o perdão e a unidade, como alicerce desta nação arco-íris.
This wave of solidarity paved the way for the release of Madiba on 11 February 1919 at the age of 71 and after 27 years of confinement. Nelson Mandela, the great freedom fighter and the greatest symbol of resistance against the segregation regime, also ended up being winner of the first free and fair election held in South Africa in 1994 and passed on to South Africa a legacy of valuable principles such as forgiveness and unity as the foundation of a rainbow nation.
Estamos certos que os seus ensinamentos perdurarão para sempre nas gerações adultas e para as gerações vindouras, não só dos sul-africanos, mas também de todos os povos do nosso continente.
We show that his teaching will endure forever in adult generation and for future generation, not only in South Africa, but also for all people of our continent.
Vivemos num mundo onde as mutações ocorrem nos dias de hoje de forma vertiginosa, do ponto de vista económico, social e geopolítico, mas também do ponto de vista cultural.
We live in the world where changes are occurring at at high pace from economy, social and geopolitical point of view, but also from a cultural point of view.
As relações de amizade e cooperação entre Angola e África do Sul vivem agora o seu momento mais alto desde a libertação dos nossos povos.
The friendship, the cooperation between Angola and South Africa are now at their highest point since the liberation of our peoples.
No concernente ao setor cultural, grande aproximação e até resultados têm sido evidentes nos últimos 4 meses, com manifesta vontade das partes em estabelecerem uma relação cada vez mais sólida. Intercâmbios nos domínios das indústrias culturais e criativas e do património cultural constituem as nossas principais áreas de eleição e continuamos a trabalhar para viabilizar a repatriação de corpos dos antigos combatentes sul-africanos tombados em Angola durante a luta de libertação da África do Sul, bem como a reestruturação do campo de trânsito de Viana, onde muitos dos combatentes sul-africanos residiram para vir a ser sítio de memória.
In the cultural sector, the rapprochement and even results have been evident over the last 4 months, with both parties willing to establish an increasingly solid relationship, exchanging the field of creative industry and cultural heritage are our main areas of focus, and we continue to work toward satisfying the repatriation of human remains of former South Africa freedom fighters who died in Angola during the struggle of liberation of South Africa, as well as restructuring of the Vienna transit camp, where many of the South Africa freedom fighters used to live, to a site of memory.
Congratulamos-nos também pelo facto do Cuito Cuanavale fazer hoje parte da lista indicativa da UNESCO para Património Mundial. Passo relevante para uma segunda vitória dos povos da África Austral que, unidos, lutaram para derrubar o hediondo regime do apartheid.
We also praise that Cuito Cuanavale is part of UNESCO tentative list of inscription on the World Heritage List, a significant step toward a second victory for the people of South Africa who fought together to overthrow the Inan's apartheid regime.
Hoje, ao comemorarmos a solidariedade internacional que viabilizou a nossa difícil vitória na Batalha do Cuito Cuanavale, deveremos ter sempre presente que juntos somos mais fortes para enfrentarmos os desafios do futuro em prol de uma África de paz e prosperidade.
Today, as we celebrate the international solidarity that made our difficult victory in Battle of Cuito Cuanavale possible, we must always remember that together we are stronger in facing the challenges that the future toward a more peaceful and more prosperous Africa.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. Thank you very much, His Excellency Minister, for reminding us really here as we reflect and celebrate of the pivotal role the Republic of Angola played really and still plays in sustaining this important legacy for all of us. So thank you very much. Obrigado. Esteemed guest, at this juncture, I would like to invite our Honorable Deputy Minister, Mayor Peace Mabe, to come forward and introduce our keynote speaker, the esteemed His High Excellency Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa. She knows how to do it better than myself as my leader. Thank you very much. Let's welcome her.
You should be excelling because it's budget time. So if you're not kind to the minister, the Freedom Park will get nothing. Thank you very much, program directors, Dr. Thabo Manetsi and Dr. Jane Mafumadi. There's a special song that I would like to sing. I see veterans are here, I'm sure they will know the song. Angola, 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 Kinaha. No, generals are getting old. Angola, Angola, la Angola, Angola, Kinaha. I'm not happy. Minister, I'm not happy. Departments, entities that are here, they're not supporting me, so it means 5% cut for your budgets. Thank you very much, program directors, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, Member of Parliament, Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Philippe Silvino Dipina Zau, Minister of Culture of the Republic of Angola, the Free State MEC of Sports, Arts and Culture, Ms. Sifuba, members of the Executive Council with us today, His Excellency Mrs. Esther Amesteros, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, His Excellency Mr. Vyoko Ngiwete, High Commissioner of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Mr. Roman Ambarov, Ambassador of the Russian Federation, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Ms. C.V. Adams-Kruger, Chairperson of the Freedom Park Council, Mr. Tau Masemola, Chairperson of the National Heritage Council of South Africa, Acting Director General, Dr. Cynthia Kumalo, HODs, CEOs, veterans present here, our special guest, Mr. Tambo and his wife. Good morning all. The Battle of Cuito Cuanavale and the Cuban intervention in Angola was one of the turning points in South African history. This significant event led to the movement of the powerful Cuban armed forces into the west towards the current Namibian border. The fighting in the southwestern part of Angola led to the withdrawal of the apartheid South African Defense Force in Angola and led to the independence of Namibia and the freedom of South Africa. The remote, small town of Cuito Cuanavale became a symbol of resistance and courage. After the victory of the Popular Armed Forces for the liberation of Angola, together with Namibian, South African and Cuban internationalists, with the support of the Soviet Union against the army of the most loathed apartheid regime. Chairperson, in closing, I want to say that South Africa, never forget the sacrifices and the blood that was shed for us to be free. The 2,000 names on the hall is just the tip of an iceberg of the lives that were lost for us to be free. We must never forget the solidarity role that was played by Angola, Namibia, Russia, Western Sahara, and Cuba. They fought for our liberation, and they never took anything from us. They never took our gold. They never colonized us. they just took their dead bodies and left us in peace. South Africa, never forget where you come from. Chairperson, it therefore gives me great pleasure to invite my colleague, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, to deliver the keynote address. Angola, Angola, la Angola, Angola, kinaga. Angola, 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 kinaga, kinaga ya kutsu. Over to you, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diem. Kindly be seated. Program directors, Minister, His Excellency, my brother, Filipino, Silvina, Tapina, Zao. That means the great elephant. The Cuban ambassador, Ms. Esther, Your Excellency, you are welcomed. The Russian ambassador, Mr. Roman, you are welcome, Your Excellency. The High Commissioner of Namibia, Ms. Eno Humphrey, you are welcome. But let me start, and I want to welcome all the distinguished guests, all the chairpersons of the different councils, the generals that are here, you are welcomed. I can fight with everybody here except the generals. So the generals, you are most welcome. I want to start, Your Excellency, you'll hear a lot about Gayton Mackenzie. But people don't know the reason why we are doing so well in the department is because I have the privilege of having the best deputy minister in South Africa, Ms. Peace Mabe. Thank you. I don't want to fight with her because she cut budgets, so I need my budget not to be cut. I also like to thank the staff for putting this together. This is a very, very prestigious and the most important event on our calendar here at Freedom Park. But I must start by thanking you, Your Excellency, for hosting the team and looking after the team that we sent to Angola. They came back with very good reports about the treatment that they received in Angola. Thank you very much. To the Cuban ambassador, His Excellency, Her Excellency, Ms. Esther, thank you so much for hosting our up-and-coming writers, for hosting our esteemed team that we sent to the Havana Book Festival. Congratulations on hosting, if not the best, but one of the best book festivals in the whole world. Thank you very much. To the Russian ambassador, there's no story of freedom in Africa that's complete without mentioning the help of the USSR. Mother Russia was a mother to all of us during the worst times. When friends were few, Russia and the whole of the USSR was there for us. So in South Africa, our bonds as Africa and Russia is an unbreakable one. It's not a bond that you can break with current news or current trends or who doesn't like who. This bond is unbreakable and no one can break it. Thank you. To Ms. Eno Humphrey, I think she was just humbled. She's the High Commissioner. I think she's just a humble person. She has mentioned that they had the first female president. But what she failed to mention, because of humility, that even the deputy, the vice president, is also a female. Just in case some of you thought it was luck or it was by chance, the vice president is also a female. Your Excellencies, please allow me to start with a story. Let me share a story with you that had profound meaning in my own personal life and profound meaning in my thought processes and profound meaning in how I address issues. And it's for that reason that I'm very happy that we have Mr. and Mrs. Tambo here today, the daughter and the son, the daughter-in-law and the son of Oliver Reginald Tambo, a man that has kept the ruling party together when it was very difficult, in exile, where they were persecuted, and he still managed to hand over a party that was leading us into liberation. Can we please give Mr. Tambo a hand? As I said, let me please allow me to deviate from the normal come here, we read speeches that have been prepared by our officials in the car. They give it to you. You call them, how do I spell this? How do I pronounce this word? What happened here? And I was saying to the deputy minister, politics, we sometimes, the real politicians don't come out. The real you don't come out because bureaucracy and speech writers, you become them instead of them becoming you. So I also got a speech here. 12 pages, which I'm not going to read one page from. Simply because whoever took the time to write the speech meant no harm. But is it really Gayton McKenzie speaking here? And my advice, and that's why today I'm putting this aside, and I'm going to speak from the heart. That what I say here, because I've seen in the past, people getting suspended because the minister or the deputy minister said something that they should have said. And then it goes to the advisor, you are sabotaging me. So nobody's, what I'm going to say today, I'm not being sabotaged, Your Excellency. It comes from my heart, and it comes from my knowledge. As I said to you, I want to share a profound story with you. There was a man that was passing. He went on a journey of self-discovery. A very wealthy man. He went through the villages of Africa on a journey of self-discovery. When he passed through the bushes, he was attacked. He was severely attacked. He was left to death, and he was robbed of his belongings. And he was laying next to the river. The next day, one lady of the village came to do a washing at the village. And she saw him, and she called the brothers. They carried him. He was unconscious. And for 30 days, they nursed him back to health. When he opened his eyes, they would give him milk in the morning, milk in the afternoon, milk in the evening. After 5 days of getting milk every day, he was fine. And he thanked them profusely for saving his life. And he went to the guru, the village, the headman of the village. Before he departed, he greeted the family. And he said to the headman of the village, I would like to do something very special for that family. What can I do? He said, I will only tell you what you can do on one condition. That you dare not disobey what I'm telling you to do. He said, fine. He said, that family only have one cow. They only have one cow. Go kill that cow. He said, I can't do that. They will starve. They'll go hungry. It explains why I got milk every day. He said, you go kill that cow. The man gave his word. He killed the cow. And he disappeared. And it bothered him so much that he returned after 2 months with gold and silver. And he went to the family's house, and they were not there. And he asked, where's this family? They said, they are at the market. He got to the market. They were at a big stall. They had the biggest stall at the market, this poor family. And it dawned on him that they are now rich. And he met the sister, and she recognized him. And he said, what happened that you have such a big stall? And the sister said, we helped a man here one day, and he killed this cow of us. We were very sad. But then we started to sell the meat of the cow. And there was such a great demand for the meat that we bought another cow with that money, and another cow, and another cow, and another cow. So my speech today is to ask African leaders, including myself, isn't it time for us to kill the cow? We must ask ourselves serious questions, which I'm going to pose here today. Let us be honest. You know, self-destruction starts with not being honest with yourself. I am a leader in South Africa. I'm a leader in Africa. So I want to ask these few questions today. Why are we acting as Africans that we are not being disrespected in the world? Why are we acting like all is well? We are being disrespected. It might not be diplomatically sound to say that, but I'm going to show examples. People that come into our country from other countries don't need visas. But Africans visiting other countries in the West and elsewhere, even with a visa, you're still being treated like a criminal. What are you doing here? Are you looking for a job? But we don't want to talk about these things. Africans are standing in lines when you go to Europe, waiting to be vetted. But a passport, a visa was granted. Are we going to be silent about those things? Are we going to be silent about the fact that sports apartheid exists? And the ones that say it does not exist, let me ask you, why have we never had the Olympics in Africa? Why have we not had the Olympics in more than 100 years? Why is it that we've never had an international tennis championship in South Africa, in Africa? Why is it that we've never had the F1 during democracy and on any other African continent? While in Europe, there's 7 F1s in the Middle East, there's 5 or 4 F1s, but the whole continent does not have one. Why is it we don't want to talk about these things? Why is it when artists, international artists are posting their schedule to go overseas, to travel a world calendar, Africa is never part of that schedule. And when you do get them to Africa, they will come at a cost 3 times higher than what they charge in the other countries. The people of Cuito Cuanavale, they died for the truth. They didn't die for us to be treated like second-class citizens. They died so that we can be free. We cannot allow people to treat us like this. We must be honest. Some of it is self-inflicted. Do our people, and it breaks my heart to say the next thing. It truly breaks my heart. Do our people love us? You know, a leader that goes, I've seen African leaders of liberation movements, how the people love me until he's out of power. The people love you until you're out of power. No, you need to look and reflect honestly. Do our people love us like they loved Augustine Neto in Angola, like they loved Sam Nujoma in Namibia, like they loved Nelson Mandela in South Africa, like they loved Fidel Castro in Cuba? Do our people look at us through those lenses? I can tell you they don't. Our people don't look at us through those lenses because what these people that we are commemorating here today fought for, died for, spilled their blood for, killed their whole future for, so that we can have a better future. It's not happening. On the 23rd of March, the soldiers that did battle knew who the enemy was. They knew who the enemy was. A few weeks ago, we buried 13 African soldiers, South African soldiers. May their souls rest in peace. They died at the hands of another African. Our people died. Today, South Africans can't truly enjoy the freedom because opportunities are being given in this country to our brothers that are illegally here. And these are uncomfortable things that people don't talk about. Our guns are pointed at each other instead of at the enemy. I make a simple but very deep example. My son lives in America with his mom, goes to school there. My other son is in South Africa. Same age. Content is the new gold in the world. Content creation is the new gold. It's the new gold. It is what drives the world currently. But my son in America will create content and get paid, while my son in Africa does not get paid. For what reason, if that is not a new wave of being colonized? Anybody can give me a reason why is it that African content creators don't get paid, but content creators in other parts of the world are being paid? They are preparing our children for a new wave of being subservient. The biggest earner on TikTok is an African that he was jobless in Africa. He moved to Europe. He started creating content and he got paid in Europe. I'm mentioning this today, that nobody must say the alarm was not sounded. Our people has lost patience with us. I'm not the leader that's going to lie here to say my people have not lost patience with me. Our people have lost patience with us. We will be out of power because there's an expiry date to blaming other people for your lot. My country, South Africa, has been so kind to white people. The biggest act of kindness that I've experienced in my life was white people not being killed in South Africa for what they've done to black people. When Mandela was released from jail, the days leading up to his release, I wrote it in one, I'm also a writer. I wrote in one of my books, I was so excited. My mother asked me, "Where are you going, my child?" I said, "I'm going to choose a nice house for us." She said, "Where?" I said, "Mandela's coming. We're going to take the white people's houses." And I went, Your Excellency, to go and choose the house. Because there's so many black people, I chose 3 houses just in case somebody already chose our house. We were all anticipating Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela is going to come out and say, "Kill the boer, kill the farmer," all the songs we used to sing during the struggle. But Nelson Mandela came out and he said, "We are the rainbow nation." Nelson Mandela came out and he said, "We shall take hands as white people and black people and Indian people and colored people." He did that at great expense to what we think of him. As a leader, he took a decision. I was not happy with Mandela. Very angry. But Mandela, there was one issue. It was the Springboks. We grew up, the Springboks is our national rugby team. We hated that name. When the Springboks played against any country, we will all scream for that country to beat the All Blacks. To be the Springboks. We grew up until 3 years or 4 years ago, I was still an All Black supporter. That's how deep that pain went for some of us. But Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela came. He said, "This name shall not disappear." He stood firm. We didn't have the vision. We didn't have the foresight to understood and see what Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela saw. Today, the biggest unifier is the Springboks. We all rally behind that team. So Mandela saw 30 years ago what we are experiencing today. He planted that tree that we're getting the fruits from. But I want to say to my white brothers, every white person knows there's no genocide in South Africa. You know that. Your silence makes you complicit to that lie. Speak up like Mandela spoke up. President Donald Trump has said South Africa is a very bad country. And he has taken away 17% of our budget through PEPFAR. That is his right. That is his right to do that. It's his money. But he does not have a right to accuse us of genocide, because there's no genocide in South Africa. South Africa has a big lesson to learn in Africa was what is happening to South Africa at the moment. I can tell you the worst is still to come. But we shall overcome. We must overcome. We're not going to overcome by complaining. We will overcome by killing the cow. We have gold, we have silver, we have diamonds, we've got coal. How dare we go hungry? How dare we? And leaders in Africa that has all those minerals and your people are still suffering. It's time where you must step down and let people that understand what to do with those minerals step forward and lead their people. We can't be treated like a people with no gold. We can't. We can't be treated like a people with no silver. We can't be treated like a people with no oil. How do we allow ourselves as leaders to be treated like we don't have these things? When they have the red carpet for you and you are there, it's not for you. It's for our minerals that you are getting the red carpet. So today, on this auspicious August day, where heroes has died, people left the comfort of their homes. They left their families behind, and they told their children, Daddy is coming. Because where are you going, Daddy? Daddy is going to help Africans free themselves. They're going to help Africans to free themselves. Daddy will be back. Some of them never came back. They died. But 30 years ago, 30 years onwards, we must still be poor. We are poor not because of the Americans, not because of the West. We are poor because we lack bravery, we lack guts, we lack thinking, we lack doing what is right for our people and not what is right for whoever else. I once told a story to our leaders. I said, there was a group of people from it was Easter weekend, and I made up this anecdote. It was Easter weekend. 4 days is a holiday in South Africa. I made up this anecdote. So Africans went into the supermarket, and people from the West went into another supermarket. And the security guards, in a haste to go home, locked them in the supermarket. It locked the Africans in the supermarket. It locked the Westerners in another supermarket. For 4 days, they were all locked up in 2 different supermarkets. Tuesday, when the security came, he opened the Westerners. They're like, hey, mate, you locked us up here. It was good. Some of them were drunk on the wine. They had braai meat. They were having a good time. They opened stuff. They ate. They were healthy. Like, yeah, you must lock us in again. This was fun. Then they came to the Africans. They found them all laying on the floor, near death, hungry, sick. They had to call the ambulances. They had to resuscitate some of them. They had to give them oxygen. They had to give them feed them through drips. When they were at the hospital, they asked them, but why did you guys not eat? They said, the law does not allow us to eat. This Article 17, Article 9, they were quoting articles. They were quoting all sorts of things that prevented them from eating. And that is the problem with Africa. We find reasons as to why our people are poor, why our people are hungry. I want to congratulate African leaders that said enough is enough. It can't go on like this. Our people should love us the way that they love our fathers. Because this freedom that we have was not written with a pen. It was written with the blood of the heroes of Cuito Cuanavale. Blood and not ink made us free today. Let ink not tell us what blood already fought for. Africans, wake up. Wake up. Our people shall replace us every year, every election. You hear a freedom liberation movement has been removed from power. Then it's a huge celebration whenever you hear that. The papers will hail that as democracy in action. But where's the democracy when our people are hungry? When our people are fighting each other for food? So, Your Excellencies, my apologies for deviating from what I was supposed to say about how nice our freedom is. Our children are hungry for education. A university that takes 2,000 people get 100,000 applications. How can that be right? You go to the mining in Daba. I've been going to the mining in Daba for the past 20 years, where UK bankers are ruling the roads there, but the African people are not there where the minerals are being shed. We must talk about these things. We must not be scared to talk about those things. I know the enemies of our people shall attack me, but they are the reason why we are in trouble. Ekbaizani. It's time that somebody tells you, our people are hungry. Our people have nothing. Africans are being treated like nothing. A country that has free visa entrance in Africa, Africans should have free visa entry in that country, unless you think of yourself as lesser. You can come with big English and try to change that in your ways. That's not going to work. And I want to congratulate Russia, because on my way to Russia, and I got a message from the new PA at my work, and she said, "Oh my word, you're going to kill me." I said, "Why?" "I didn't apply for your Russian visa." I said, "I'm going home. I don't need a visa as a South African when I go into Russia." In conclusion, I would like to say two things. Your Excellency, I want to change something in our MOU, with your permission. In the MOU, it says that we shall do a documentary. Now, you see, Your Excellency, this is such an important battle that we have to tell our own story. With your permission, I would like us to change that into a film that will have 4 producers. A producer from Cuba, a producer from South Africa, a producer from Russia, a producer from Namibia, so that we can tell our story from our perspective, and not from the perspective of a Hollywood or a Nollywood, but from a perspective of the people that has done this. Our story is not, this story is not there to entertain people. It is there to educate people about the sacrifices. as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture in South Africa, we and myself and the Deputy commit to be putting down the first funding for this movie that must be told immediately with haste and speed. I would also like to use this opportunity on behalf of the freedom fighters of South Africa to thank you, because I was so humbled when I heard the story of the Vienna transit camp, where not only did you give us a place to stay while we were transiting, but you also made sure that the women that was in the group get a special place where they can sleep that's more safer and more secure and more comfortable. We've also been told that that building that used to host our freedom fighters is half in ruins. It gives me great pleasure today to announce to you that South African businesses has committed to rebuilding and fixing that whole building. And we shall hand it our, His Excellency, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, at his state visit later this year, shall hand over that building to abused women as a home for them in Angola. And that is the little that we can do as South Africans to thank you. I know it must have been mentioned previously to Cuba and to Russia and to Angola and to Namibia. On behalf of my leader, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, we want to profusely thank you. I want to thank you for your solidarity. We would not have been free if you were not brave. Your bravery made us free. Our deepest and most sincerest condolences with the passing of His Excellency, our father, Sam Nujoma. And to the Cuban ambassador, you said something that touched my soul. You said, you so wished the children of those freedom fighters can see their names, the names of their fathers and their grandfathers in scripture. You went further and you said, you so wish, you hope you laying that wreath today, you're representing all of them. Ma'am, Your Excellency, I want to say to you, you've represented each and every Cuban here today. What you've done here today, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. You should not doubt for a second that indeed you have represented them. My Russian brother, we know you are facing headwinds. We all do. But at the other side of the storm, we shall meet each other still as brothers and as friends and remember our history. To a man that has become, do I have 1 minute left? Oh, thank you. I also need to embarrass the minister. I was telling the people at dinner last night, I just want to end with a story, how my brother embarrassed me in Brazil. You know, I learned so much from him because he's also a professor. And I'm not a man that's very educated, but I learn from educated people. And I was with him the whole day in Brazil. We had such a good time. And the Brazilian ambassador and the Brazilian minister and the mayor invited us for dinner. He told me everything about his life. He was a professor, how he got involved in politics, his family, where he stays. But he omitted one thing. When we got to Brazil at the dinner, the Brazilian Minister of Culture is an accomplished musician. The previous Minister of Culture of Brazil is an accomplished musician. So when they called us, they started exchanging gifts. And they took out their CD, their music, the previous minister, and he gave us his CD. And the current minister took out her CD, ambassador, and she gave it. And then my brother opened his bag. Lo and behold, he brought out his CD. He never told me he's a musician. And he handed his CV over. I saw that as a great act of betrayal. And they looked at me to take out my CD. I said, Your Excellencies, in the world of music, some make music, some buy music. I fall under the buying category. My brother, Ntiki, please, you have become a father to me. I have drank from your wisdom about life. Mistakes that I could have made, I will not make in the political world after listening to you. You have truly, truly shown me what is it when we say Ubuntu in South Africa. I would like to give gifts to the ambassadors. I will end up with the Angolan ambassador. A Russian ambassador, please come. And I got so many gifts from the Russian ambassador. Right. This is a Ndebele hat. We have achieved worldwide acclaim because of the paintings of the Ndebele nation. We have a lady she's a celebrity in the world, Mam Esther Mahlangu, of the Ndebele people. Please, can you come forward? And I will have the DM just hand over this, and in the back, just to show you, it's also have books of Freedom Park and its history.
The water bottle? Oh, yes. The plastic.
Thank you. Thank you. The High Commissioner, ma'am, Namibia, I will have my colleague hand over to you inside. Thank you. The Cuban ambassador, go this side. Just take out the bag. Beaded handbag done by South Africans. Thank you. The Angolan ambassador. It's a bit a tie. It's a tie. Right. The Angolan delegation, the delegation of Angola, the people that came, please. Thank you. Minister, I've got something very deep and, you know, you always give us, when we're there, you looked after us. We've got 2 gifts for you. This is the first one. The tie. Yes. How we built. Thank you. Then we have a very special gift that's dear to our hearts for you, Minister. Can somebody just help the Minister with the? We have. No, we are not done yet. I said to you last night when you gave me so many gifts, I shall revenge today. This is the revenge. You can open what this is, Ambassador. It is, Minister. In 1966, we didn't know how Mandela looked. Monica von Moller, international renowned artist, painted or drew Nelson Mandela. It is a woodcut print on paper. It is very sought after in our country. Can you help here, Program Director? Help the Minister. Yeah, we'll cover it again just to show. This was 1966. And she was not far off the mark. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Can you guys just go rapid for the Minister, please, again? Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
I'm so happy with your gifts. Very good read. I hope that you will be elected, not stay no longer.
Thank you. We must get more gifts for His Honorable Minister because his English was so fluent now. In conclusion, I must thank the people of Freedom Park, from the board chair to the whole council, for putting this together. I will reserve my comments for after the food. I judge every function by the food. But I would like to say to everybody that came, thank you very much. To the staff in my department, you guys always outdo yourself. This was so, from the ADG, Ms. Stella Kumalo, to the whole staff, and Tsiki, all of them, Mr. Ndima, Thank you very, very, very much. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you for speaking from the heart, first and foremost, and also for reminding us, really, that the project of decolonization, it has not been concluded. It has not even started. Let's be deliberate about it and claim our space in the global economy this time, because really, it can never be a pie in the sky anymore. It must be a steak on the plate. Thank you for that. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for that. There are more gifts, apparently. I've been informed, Minister. I'll hand over to my sister here to take us through that gifting session again, and we'll wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manetsi. I would like to call upon the Ambassador of Russia to hand over the gifts as well. Firstly, to the Ambassador of Cuba.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Minister, for your kind words. Thank you very much, Minister, for your kind words. Thank you so much for inviting us today once again. I would like to say, probably off the record, if I may, in my personal opinion, no Russian ambassador is good enough if he comes for a celebration with friends, bringing no Russian vodka. So this is a gift from us today to celebrate it in a very, very friendly way. Thank you.
May we also request Namibia to come forth? And the Deputy Minister, our Deputy Minister.
There's going to be war in the office, me and Mackenzie drinking the rum.
Yes, yes.
I would like to say just 2 words that I miss in my salutation. Amandla, la luta continúa.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You may be seated. I will not come back after this, so I will make, they call it item number what? Number 17. It's always 17, whether you have 5 or 3 items. After the vote of thanks, we will request the ministers, the ambassadors, and the special guests for a group photo here in front. And Minister, yes, lunch is served at the restaurant. When you go to the restaurant, you will go down as if you're getting out of Freedom Park using the main gate. You immediately turn right. There is parking there for those who are using shuttles. The shuttles will drop you off. Then you will go into the restaurant, which is within our interpretive center, Capo. I would like now to call upon the chairperson of the National Heritage Council of South Africa, Mr. Tau Masemola, to do the vote of thanks and close the session.
Excelentes membro do capo diplomático, Excelências Ministro Gaten Mackenzie da África do Sul, Excelência Ministro Philippe Zhao da República de Angola, veterinários da Guerrilla de Libercajo, representatives of various institutions, agencies, and government departments, traditional and faith leaders, veterans of the struggle, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you in the spirit of Ubuntu. Minister, you've now created a challenge for me because I have a written speech written by my executives. And I had to think, is this what I would say? Thank God, Minister, I had an input in this speech. So this speech represents me. The National Heritage Council is honored to participate in this special occasion. The National Heritage Council is an agency of the Department of Sports, Arts and Agriculture, led by His Excellency, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, led by Minister Gaten Mackenzie. In line with the priorities of the GNU, National Heritage Council is contributing to the social cohesion, participative citizenry, jobs agenda, economic participative agenda, and it's committed to a capable, ethical state. The National Heritage Council has prioritized strategic partnerships, cultural diplomacy, development, and making heritage everybody's business. The National Heritage Council is pleased for the opportunity to collaborate with all of you today's role players in this phenomenal day of reflection. We look forward to collaborating with agencies of the countries that are assembled here today. We are inspired by the presence of so many leaders, diplomats, delegates, and the common spirit that is expressed today. We salute the foresight of the leaders who decided that the 23rd of March must be commemorated every year as a day of reflection. This decision is very valuable in getting us to reflect on the key questions that will face every generation. The key issues in our view connect to our duty to wage peace, to silence the guns on the African continent, to build a continent with strong cultural identity, physically and digitally at the continent level and multilaterally. To improve integration of the continent, our shared heritage, our shared hopes, and our shared sacrifices. To use cultural heritage to support the fight for reduction of poverty on the continent. How we use memory and cultural heritage to promote and protect multilateralism, social solidarity, sustainable development, and honor, remember, recognize, and learn from those who sacrificed. Our National Heritage Council, as champions of Africa's heritage towards social cohesion, supports today's commemoration. This commemoration helps us to reflect on a battle that ended a Cold War. The ultimate battle that opened the door to accelerate realization of Resolution 435 in Namibia, accelerated negotiations in South Africa, and ended the civil war in Angola. The Heritage Council pledges that the martyrs of Cuito Cuanavale will not be forgotten. The National Heritage Council and South Africa will work with colleagues in Angola, Africa, and beyond to explore the possibilities of World Heritage inscription of these important sites. The Heritage Council will continue to do its best to support the sites provisionally identified liberation sites, both in terms of funding and technical expertise. These are vast expectations and needs out there. Sorry, there are vast expectations and needs out there. There are decent emerging opportunities that led us to use our leadership, our vision, and our expertise at our disposal to make an unforgettable difference. We are encouraged by our leadership. We will journey with you in making heritage not just everybody's business, in opening sustainable, capable opportunities that reduce poverty, increase jobs, and draw from a collective strength. Let us use heritage and culture, heritage to reassert global solidarity, progressive multilateralism, to ensure a global agenda that has Ubuntu, solidarity, equality, and sustainability. May the memories of the martyrs of Cuito Cuanavale live forever and inspire future generations. A luta continua. A luta continua. A luta continua. Amandla.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. With your consent, Honorable Minister, I've been informed that there could be veterans of the Cuito Cuanavale. We kindly ask if they can just come up here so that we can honor them as well. Thank you. Our veterans who were part of that historical journey, are they here? Or contemporaries of the veterans? We will definitely honor them. I think we have reached the end, esteemed guests. At this juncture, I would like to also request that our leadership, if they can just come forward for a photo opportunity so that we can wrap up. Thank you very much. I don't want to stand between you and nourishment. I know it's a Sunday, but we would actually appreciate it if we can just do a photo shoot. Thank you. Over here, thank you to our leadership. Thank you.
May I request the chairpersons, council members, and CEOs, directors, and ADG, please join us. It's a very long. Let's move closer.
You know, we thought the veterans are here because I've been informed that they are.
I will too, I don't think.
شحال نغمة بغيتك تشوف